Hey everybody, it's been a while. It seems so weird that it's already been and done because this year has gone so fast that in my head the whole having another baby thing is still in the future. As far as I'm concerned, it's still May, except that it's December. I like hearing other women's birth stories, so here's mine, this being my third. Oh my god. I used to think that 3 children sounded mind-bendingly stressful and overwhelming, but it's actually not. I think the stress kind of plateaus at 2, which I guess is how people can have lots of children and not go insane. Anyway, my first 2 births were induced and they were absolutely horrible. Induction, if you don't know what that is where you're given hormones or other treatment to force labor to start, rather than letting it happen on its own. It's a scheduled thing and I think very unnatural. It's also way more intense and painful than natural labor, which is, so they say, the most painful thing the human body can endure. I was extremely anti getting induced again, but if it's medically necessary, you don't really get a choice. In my first pregnancy, I got preeclampsia. In the second, gestational diabetes. This time, I got both. Each pregnancy has been marked by some new weird thing happening to my body. This time it was migraines and a really horrible thing I had heretofore never heard of called a vasovagal response or syncope. This is a very scary reaction to needles. Not all needles, just some apparently. Particularly long ones, I guess. Now, I am not afraid of needles. I'm a bit squeamish, but I've never been the type to faint or even flinch at a needle. This vasovagal response happened to me 3 times. And what it is fainting, or almost fainting, going white, your blood pressure plummeting, becoming extremely hot and breaking a heavy sweat, retching, shaking. First time it happened was being given an injection of antibiotics, and the nurse who did it thought he'd killed me. Needle went in, I kind of went white and wilted. Second time was during the amniocentesis I did to check for genetic abnormalities. Third time, well, so it's early morning. I go to the Queen Mary, the local hospital maternity ward, to begin the induction process. I'm fine, baby is fine, everything is fine. I'm hooked up to the machine that monitors baby's heart rate, so you can hear it happily thumping away. Hey Bubby, yes, I'm talking about you. It's standard procedure to insert a line when a patient comes in case they need to be given medicines or whatever. A midwife put a needle into my arm to insert the line, and it hurt way more than it should. Then, boom. Vasovagal response. I almost faint, go white, get really hot, want to throw up, blood pressure drops, but what's scarier is that the baby's heart rate went ballistic, really, really fast, and then it slowed way down, and it kept slowing down. The midwife pushed the emergency button and within seconds I was surrounded by doctors and a surgeon. Baby's heart rate was slowing down so much, it honestly sounded like it was about to die, like it was stopping. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. After all that 9 months, the baby was going to die because I had a line put in. They were going to take me that second to theatre for an emergency C-section. A couple of people had me roll quickly from one side to the other, everyone listening to the monitor intently, and gradually the heart rate sped up. Once they were satisfied that the heart rate was steady and normal again, I was given fluids and left to rest. I spent the rest of the day absolutely terrified because, of course, I googled what happens if one has a vasovagal response during a C-section, and Google informed me cardiac arrest. I was like, if one wee needle can do that, then what happens if they cut open my whole abdomen? So the induction process started a few hours later than it should have. It was done with misoprostol, a flavorless oral medicine. I had this last time too. Generally one is given 8 doses over the course of a day or so, and it can take days to get labor going. But last time I only needed 2 doses before my insanely intense, fast, brain-meltingly painful labor began. I'm quite sensitive to hormone medications. This time, however, while expecting the same thing to happen again, it didn't. Indeed, I needed 7 doses. This wasn't great because Mr. Owl and I didn't really have anyone to look after our other 2 toddlers. We expected that I'd get to the hospital, have the baby within a few hours while the toddlers were at daycare so Mr. Owl could stay with me and be present for the birth. But as the day wore on, it became clear that this was not going to happen. My dad and half-sister came to our house and minded them for a wee while in the evening. We didn't want to burden them with staying all night, especially as neither are particularly keen on looking after small children. So Mr. Owl went home to be with the children and said to video call him if anything something happened. Knowing my propensity for sudden fast births and only needing a tiny amount of misoprostol, they put me straight into a delivery suite rather than the antenatal ward. But late into the night, the midwives said they would move me out of the suite if nothing happened soon. I'd had 7 doses of misoprostol and was only getting mild contractions. Mild enough I could sleep through them. Then at about 3 a.m, a couple of midwives came in to check my blood pressure and to put the baby's heart rate monitor back on. And I was like, ooh, it's getting a bit sore. Suddenly these mild contractions ramped up and were coming 2 at a time. Not unbearable, but enough that I started asking for pain relief. I had decided I would get an epidural this time, which I've never done before. They said they wanted to put a heart rate clip on the baby's head because I was squirming too much to keep the other monitor in place. So I said they would do that, then go get the anaesthetist for an epidural. But I was now begging for pain relief, but there wasn't time. So this has happened to me before. It's called a fetal ejection reflex. Instead of consciously pushing, your body pushes the baby out by itself. You have no control over it. It's wild. Before the monitor clip could go on, before they could get the anaesthetist, my body did this massive push by itself, intensely painful. A second push, boom, water broke like an explosion. Third one, I felt the head come down. I was like, this is it. They who had only come in to check my blood pressure were like, oh, this is it. It was 13 minutes between saying, ooh, that's getting a bit sore, and I think that's the head. I held on so tight and controlled my breathing so hard while they told me not to push. It's like fighting the tide. I knew one almighty push was required to pass the shoulders, so this one I did myself, and the baby was out. Active labor typically takes 4 to 8 hours. Mine was 13 minutes. Damn. My regular midwife had legged it to the Queen Mary when they called her. She said it took her 12 minutes to get there, so arrived like a minute too late to deliver the baby. Baby was born with the sac still partially on, like over her head, which I suppose I must have seen. I vaguely remember seeing that. But it's such an intense moment, it's all kind of a blur. I did all this, by the way, while holding my phone while on a video call to Mr. Owl. So he wasn't there for the birth, it was just me. So I'm like, the filmmaker in me is still making sure that he's getting a good angle. Afterwards, I wasn't allowed to leave the hospital for another 5 days, and it was potentially going to be longer, but my blood pressure was just getting higher and higher. And even after taking blood pressure meds, it was still in the stage 1 or 2 hypertension realm. Preeclampsia is in my family. My grandma had it, she had seizures and was in a coma for 5 days. I was facing the same thing, so no going home. The entire time there, I was fending off panic attacks for no particular reason. Maybe just the hormones and being in a gloomy, timeless, extremely hot room. Eventually my blood pressure was like 1 point below the safety threshold. Normally I quite like being in hospital, you know, you get brought 3 hot meals a day, you just get to lie there, you have this bed that goes up and down. It's quite good. I just really wanted to go home. I did not like being away from my other children. But anyway, yeah, baby number 3 is good. She's good. She's snoozling right beside me right now. Don't know who she looks like, but she does look pretty cute. She's got like fluff rather than real hair, so I feel like it's kind of falling out, so I don't really know what color her hair is going to be yet or anything. So what you all really want to know, what name did we decide on in the end? I read all your suggestions, every single one of them. I think I might have offended a few people when I said, like, please don't suggest Lilith, Morticia, or Elvira, because last time I asked for names, we got those suggestions like 1,000 times. And also, like, my mum's dog was called Lilith, so that was definitely not happening. It was honestly so hard. Like, all the names that I really like, Mr. Owl just totally vetoed. And like, no matter how much I tried to talk him into them not happening, I was really miffed. So hopefully we've chosen the right one. I guess people grow into their names no matter what. It just sort of becomes their name eventually, right? I think out of all your comments, I think maybe 2 of you had suggested this name. So we went for the name of an ancient Greek goddess, but the reason I like it is because in Dracula, it is the name of the ship that took Dracula to England, you know, the cursed ship that drifted crewless into Whitby Harbour. So our new baby girl is called Demeter. Her middle name is after Mr. Owl's late mother, who I never met, but she sounds like a absolutely saintly human being. And her name was Jacqueline, nicknamed Jack, so she's Demeter Jacqueline DJ, huh? Our son Montrose is Montrose Cyril, so now we've got an MC and a DJ. Huh? Pretty much every time someone said, oh, what's her name? I say Demeter. They're like, uh-huh, okay. Nobody's heard of it. Demeter was a major Olympian goddess, like sister of Zeus and Poseidon and Hades, mother of Persephone. But what was quite nice is that the midwife who ended up delivering her, by surprise, she knew the entire myth about Demeter and Persephone and everything, and I was like, wow. So I hope you like it. Do tell me what you think. I think whenever you give a child a cool name or a long name, people say, oh, how are you going to shorten it? What are you going to nickname them? It's like, well, I'm not going to. I'm giving them a beautiful name. I'm going to use the whole thing. Like, we don't shorten Severine. I don't call her Sevi or Sev. I call her Severine. To be fair, Montrose does get called Monty a lot, but I also think Monty is cute. Also, nicknames kind of happen organically, don't they? So I figure I'm just calling her Demeter. I'm not shortening it to Demi or anything. I have been calling her Possum because her cry sounds like a possum and a cat fighting. My dad said it sounds more like a possum being strangled, which he knew because he has strangled a possum. So that's my story. Thank you for listening. I'm glad that like the really painful part was over quickly, right? It was still really intense and horrible, and I still hate induction. At least the really bad part didn't take long. And honestly, I had been so sick for weeks, like before giving birth, like weeks and weeks of like bed-bound sick, no energy, so my body just hates being pregnant, seriously, and I keep forcing it to be like, make children. So it's been like a real relief to have some energy back. Thank you everyone again for your name suggestions, and do tell me, do you like the name Demeter? What do you think of it? Ancient Greek goddess is really cool and powerful and all that, but I really like the Dracula ship thing. It's also super rare. I looked it up, and in the last 50 years fewer than 20 people in the USA have been named Demeter, so it's pretty uncommon. I think maybe there are about 1,200 people in the whole world right now with that name. I like a good uncommon name. Anyway, my battery's about to go flat, and I think she's just about to wake up, so if you have not already subscribed to my lovely channel, please do so. That would be nice. As always, take care of yourself, be nice to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye.